Welcome back to DUBBZI Bricks for another episode of building the Tantive IV in Lego. And first of all, a massive thank you to Guy Franklin 4143 for the £25 donation via PayPal. I can't thank you enough. It is amazing. The support I've had has been amazing on the channel with this video or this build series. It's been great, and yeah, it means the world to me. There's so many people who are invested in this build series as much as I am, so thank you so much. And a massive thank you once again to all the members of the channel. Your continued support is amazing, and I really do appreciate each and every one of you, so thank you so much. In the last update, we were doing a little bit of prototyping, and it was great fun working on this section just here. I did order all the parts in to do the two of these in red and white last night, as well as the parts for going around the top of the radar section. So hopefully they'll arrive quite quickly, and then we can crack on with getting that all how it should be, the final look of it. So exciting times ahead with that. Now, on this back section, the only part we've got left to prototype are the wing sections, and from memory, one of them starts here and comes over to here, and then the bottom one comes along here, and I think there's a couple of bits behind there as well. Now, they are going to be quite the challenge. Working out how I'm going to attach them due to the curvature is going to be quite interesting, and I'm hoping it's not going to cause too many problems. In hindsight, it might have paid me to have left some connection points on the back here, but yeah, I'm sure there'll be a solution, and we'll worry about that in a future update. But what I want to turn my attention back to, we've had a couple of days away from the cockpit section. Time to get back to it, solve all the problems we've got left with it, and yeah, get that all finished. So with the cockpit section, I've still got to do the back part here, which will be permanently in place, and it'll be a very similar technique to what we've done on the front here, and we've got to do the same on the bottom as well, and we'll do a similar technique on the bottom of the vessel just here. The one part I'm not looking forward to, and I'm probably looking forward to this less than I did doing the paneling up here, is the paneling that goes along the sides. It's going to be so difficult doing that because it gets wider as you come along. So yeah, that's what we're going to be working on. And I've also got to amend this section here as they're not accurate. I've done the red bit coming out here, whereas it should only go to the tip of the white part just there, which is why that bit's still broken. There was no point in me fixing it when I knew I had to amend it. Then finally, we have the bottom part here to do. Once I've got this section all completed, the rest of this build, with the exception of those wing parts I just mentioned, I think is going to be plain sailing, and you're going to be amazed at how quickly the whole vessel comes together. So without further ado, let's rearrange the Tantive IV on the work surface here, so we've got room to work on the cockpit section. Let's get the bricks and plates out, and let's get started. And we're going to start by working on this lower section just here. And it'd be nice to get this part back in place. I did make one previously, however, I was never happy with the design of it. I'm a lot happier with the design of the top section I've done. So I'm just going to try and replicate that technique on the lower part of the vessel here. Now, how I'm going to attach it, I'm going to see if I can use the Technic holes that we've got on the display stand just here, and also the Technic holes we've got there as well. We've got some anti-studs on the top as well. So it looks like there's a fair few connection points that I could possibly use. It's just a case of making sure that it's going to be strong enough. So let's start off by trying to get something that we can then build off of first of all. Then once I've done that, I'll then start building the rest of it with the hinge pieces to get that curvature that we need. And this has taken quite a while to get this all attached correctly, and trying to get it lined up with the panels on the side there's been quite the challenge, but also getting enough strength in there that it's sturdy whilst applying the panels to that. But I think we're slowly but surely getting there. So I just need to amend a couple of bits because I realise I've gone out by an extra hinge piece on the outside, where in fact I need to be putting another snot brick. So we're just going to have to make a slight amendment to that, I think. And then once I've done that, then I can make a start on adding all of the details. And there we finally have the bottom section all completed on the vessel, and this has taken forever. I've been working on this all day. It's amazing how quickly the time gets swallowed up by something just as like this one section here. And it was a case of trying to get as much strength into it as possible. get as close to the bodywork as possible. And then these parts kept getting knocked off, or they kept getting disrupted. Then I realised one of them was in the wrong position, so I had to start again. And yeah, it has just been a real, very time-consuming period at the moment. And there are a couple of bits which are showing a little bit more than I would like, but to be honest, I'm not going to alter it. It's been so complex. It's been so fiddly that I think it's one of things where I just have to accept that that is how it's going to be on the vessel. The entire front section all completed now. And we're going to be working on this section here to start with. And I think the easiest thing for me to do will be to put a plate across here so it's smooth, brick down, plate across, and tile on top of it, so that the panel that goes on here just slides in like I've done on the front of the vessel. I think that's probably going to be the easiest way of attaching it. And also, if any damage happens to the panels, it's very easy to remove it, fix it, and put it back on there. One other thing as well, we've got these wires hanging from the side here. These are to light up the red parts on the inside of the corridor. And originally they were connected up to the top, but the wires will get pinched underneath this section here. So what I've done, I've brought a connector cable out through the side of the wall. I'll connect it all up to a connector board, which will slide in this section here. I will attach the wires under some 1x1 round plates or studs, and then that'll keep the wires all nice and tidy along here. And then the hull of the ship will go over the top of it and hide all of those wires along with all that ugly filler brick. So let's start off by tidying the wires up, get that out of the way, and then we get the panel ready to go over the hull. And here we have the hole where we're going to be sliding the panel onto, and this is the actual panel itself. A couple of hinge pieces to change the angle, and then there we have the part that slides into that hole. So let's try and do this one-handed. This has been so fiddly to get sorted. And then that goes in like so. I can adjust this to tidy it all up. I need to get some more of the red snot bricks, which I have ordered. They're on their way. So once I've done that, then I can complete the end section of the panel. And here we have the start of the bottom panel. So I've got two 6x8 Technic bricks here. There's some lift arms inside of it, which are attached to the top here. And now we have the panel that we're going to be putting on the bottom. So once that's on there, we'll then do the side panels to come down to meet that. And I feel like we're on the right track with this side panel here. I just need to tuck this bottom bit in a little bit more. And at the moment, it is proving quite troublesome. So I'm just going to take it all off, see if there's a different way of connecting it. And then hopefully we'll be able to get it looking a lot more like this. There's a little bit of a domino effect going on here. I change one part, it leads to another part needing changing or amending or improving. And yeah, it just carries on going. So I've changed this panel here, same technique now as we've got on here. I don't know why I didn't replicate the first time. It was ever so slightly different. But anyway, it's looking better now as it is like so. But I think what I need to do is, rather than this part being on top of this, I need to make it so it goes behind it. So I need to shrink the size of this panel just here. What I'm also thinking about doing is, rather than have this so that it's two sections on a hinge plate, I'm going to replicate the technique that I've got here of using the curved parts and then bricks and plates, tiles in the centre of it. I just think it's going to give it a much nicer finish to the build. So let's make those amendments now, and hopefully it'll make it look that much better. And here we have the revisions to the side panel, and I'm so much happier with how this is all coming together. I was going to replicate this design here. However, using the 4x2 curves, which are the same as the ones on the engines, it's just that much smoother. It looks a lot better, a lot tidier, a lot more rounded. The other advantage I've got with it being like this as well is this actually just wedges in between these two panels. So that's absolutely spot on. So I'm really happy that that's come out as it has. The other thing as well, now that this tucks behind this rather than this going all the way along, there's actually a shelf just in here, and I've able to rest this end of this panel here is resting on it. So it's resting on that end there, and we've got the hinges this end, whereas previously it was just connected by 3 hinges and it was dropping down a little bit and it was quite fragile. So it's a lot stronger this way, so a lot better way of doing it. But yeah, really happy with how this is finally coming along. It is taken forever just to get to this stage, and I was hoping to have got this top section here completed. I was going to work on that at one stage, and then I ended up doing this side bit first, and yeah, it's just but it has been a real case of dominoes at the moment where one thing's led to another. But yeah, we're getting there slowly but surely. And I need to replicate, there's a triangular sort of like shaped wedge here, but I need to replicate up the top there. And then that'll enable you to carry on building over the top. However, there are so many parts that I haven't got that I need, but they are arriving, I believe, tomorrow. So fingers crossed they will arrive. There's 4 deliveries, I think, due tomorrow. So if they all come in, we're going to have to get so much building done, and it's going to be so exciting cracking those parcels open. There are a couple of bits on here that I do want to amend, such as this gap just here. There's another one down there, but again, these are things that I will very easily be able to do. But yeah, there we have it. Not as much progress as I would have liked to have done over the last few days, but it has been, as I said, very time consuming. This whole cockpit has been the most time consuming part of the entire build, and I can finally see the end is very, very close, which is, yeah, is such a relief. Not sure how I'm going to be doing this as a removable panel on the other side, but we'll certainly give it a good go, because it would be nice to have that on the other side as well. Now, tomorrow I am off to Dublin. I can take my wife to the airport first thing in the morning. As soon as I've dropped her off, we'll be going to the Lego store, waiting for that to open. I need to get a load of filler brick and filler plates for the engines. I thought I had enough, and it was the panels that attach the engines on the side. I didn't get the parts for those, and also I need some bits for the grey bit at the end, so we'll be getting that as well. And then I've got to pick a brick lug order up after that as well. So there is going to be a lot of Lego. There's going to be a massive Lego haul, hopefully, in the next update. Anyway, that's all we have time for. Hope you've enjoyed the update. If you have, please remember to give us a big thumbs up. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future content on the channel. If you know anybody else you think would be interested in building a Tantive IV in Lego, if you could share the channel with them, it'd be much appreciated. Until next time, bye for now.